Hello everyone, I'm Mary. We all know that sex is a vital bond in maintaining a relationship. A perfect sex life is, of course, a collaborative effort, captivating foreplay, repeated climaxes, and a lasting aftertaste. However, even couples with similar values can still have conflicts when it comes to sex. For example, should the lights be on during sex? Most women prefer to have it off, while most men prefer it on. I've asked my close friends about this and learned that women, for various reasons, are afraid to fully expose themselves to men. Some struggle with low self-esteem, feeling they're not thin enough, not fair enough, have flat features without makeup, have dull skin, or have birthmarks or scars. Consequently, they avoid their partner seeing them naked, fearing the quality of their sex life will be compromised. Dr. Cindy Mostaris at the University of Texas has also found in research that even after years of relationships, women still worry about their own unattractiveness. Their figure, skin, and even moles can all be sources of concern. The Daily Mail also reported that, according to a global survey, nearly 70% of women prefer to have sex with the lights off. This stems from two main issues: anxiety about their bodies and a lack of sexual experience. Novices are most prone to body image anxiety. In fact, it's not just about sex. When faced with things or situations they've never experienced, people often express worry and anxiety, fearing they won't be able to handle the situation or that they won't perform well, which will negatively impact their partner's impression and evaluation of them, and in turn, the relationship. There's no perfect solution to this problem. We can usually equip ourselves with theoretical knowledge beforehand, embrace our lack of experience, actively communicate with our partners, adjust our movements and intensity, proactively ask about their feelings afterward, and learn from our experiences to improve. For example, during sex, women often worry about whether their bodies are perfect or whether their faces look good when they lie flat. This worry is normal, but after a few times, you'll realize that your partner doesn't really care about these things. What matters to them is your response, the intimacy, and the connection between you. Second, beautiful fantasies about sex. Due to a lack of sex education, many girls' sexual fantasies are largely based on fictional stories from romance novels. These stories are often extremely romantic, leading many girls to imagine their sexual fantasies as rosy and bubbly. This leads to overly high expectations when they actually have sex, making them unable to accept any flaws in their sex lives. But in reality, sex isn't as rosy as depicted in novels. It's just like eating when hungry and drinking water when thirsty. No one can always look elegant during sex. Sometimes you need to open up and let them enjoy themselves. Third, the impact of everyday body image anxiety. Whether men or women, when being honest with each other, their bodies are inevitably exposed to each other's gaze. While it's natural to be concerned about their body image, when concern turns into anxiety, it becomes excessive. In reality, body dissatisfaction reflects a sense of low self-worth. What we need to do now is to identify with and accept ourselves. Of course, if you simply feel your figure isn't ideal, you can make some efforts to improve it, such as working out. Simply fretting over it and doing nothing is pointless. Furthermore, many women constantly place themselves under scrutiny, worrying about their partner's perceived body image, forgetting that intimacy is about mutual choice and attraction. A foreign study showed that women who weren't anxious about their body image were over 80% more likely to orgasm during sex, while those who were constantly concerned about their body image were only 40% more likely to orgasm. In other words, your body image isn't likely to impact the quality of your sex life. It's your self-esteem that's more likely to influence it. Speaking of which, I hope all you men out there will take note of the following. Most women really care about their partners' opinions of them, and it's difficult to simply dissuade them from worrying about it. Men should praise their partners more often, but avoid being too general. It's best to focus on specific things. For example, your glasses look really nice, I love your voice, or your skin is so fair. When complimenting someone, pay attention to these for tips. Be sincere, include details, use rhetoric, and include emotional context. Remember, the more you make a girl feel special, the more engaged she will be during sex and enjoy the experience. Fourth, concern for the private parts. A common concern for women is the color and odor of their private parts, which we've discussed repeatedly. The skin in the private parts doesn't easily accumulate dead skin cells, and the frequency of sexual activity has nothing to do with the color of the private parts. In fact, the color of the private parts is primarily influenced by sex hormones. During puberty, as sex hormone levels rise in both men and women, the color of the private parts darkens. Regarding odor, the presence of lactobacillus acei in the female private parts gives them a yogurt-like smell. However, the humidity and the combination of sweat and other factors can also cause some odors. However, as long as it's not fishy or foul, which could indicate gynecological inflammation, it's not a cause for concern. In short, be a brave and fearless goddess. Express your feelings when you like them, and don't suppress your true feelings. When you are honest with yourself, it doesn't matter whether you turn the lights on or off during sex. Release yourself into love bravely.